Okay, this is Professor Snell, and this is a video answering a question about LabVIEW. Before I get into it, let me just say that I realize we have not done a lot of LabVIEW in class. We introduced it, you guys got started on it, so I'll help you if you ask me questions. And anyone who asks a question that I do something like this, a video, then I will post the video for everyone to see. Um, but I also expect you to do a little research yourself and not just be using me as the source of your work. So it's kind of a balance. All right. So the question that I'm answering here is how do we do? I mentioned in class that we could you can stack plots. You can display more than one data set in a single graph. So um, here we are in LabVIEW, and let me just drop down a. Actually, I like this silver stuff better. It's just a different way of. Just a different graphic layout. Then I'm immediately just because I'm trying to get you guys to think this way. I know I'm not gonna need the plot. I'm going to change this to test stacked plots or something. Okay. Um, the first thing I'm going to do is actually, I won't do that first. um, so we're over here in the block diagram. Let's go ahead and, so the first thing we need is multiple data sets. So let's just create some data sets. I'm going to come in here and create a while loop around this graph. I'm going to just do a numeric control. I'm going to bring that inside the graph. Or I'm sorry, inside the loop. Remember, with a while loop, I need to create a control. So it's just a stop button. Oops. Just going to move this down here to where it somewhat makes sense. So we don't have to dig around for it. Let's make this the input. And let's just go and put in 5. So I've got this input of 5 over here. Let me make a quick little data generator. I'm going to add this. I'm going to create a shift register. This is all things we did in that first assignment. So if I come down here and add shift register, I don't know if you may remember that this then allows us to, we're sending an output out of the loop and bringing it back in. Now I'm going to create 2 more data sets. So you can see that's just going to add 5 plus 5 plus 5 until we stop it. If I bring in a multiplication, I can now just do this. I can do the same thing, but I'm going to multiply instead of add. And now I'm going to divide so that I have 3 data sets, because you might have 3. Right? Okay. So now we need to figure out a way then to bring all 3 of these data sets into a single plot or graph. Well, I'm sorry, in this case, chart. Let me be technically correct. Remember when you select any element, if you have context help on, show context help, then you get help. So this is telling us about how waveform charts work. Here's a good little clue down here. What is this thing? We obviously have more than one. It says combine points with a bundle node. Okay, so I'm going to look for bundle. We drop this in. Usually with these kind of components, you can just, it's a user-friendly interface, so I can just pull down on it to get as many as I want, as many inputs. I can click on this and it tells me what it's doing. I'm bringing in the elements here and creating an output cluster. Okay, that seems like what we want. So I'm going to bring in each individual input. Now, so I've got three data sets coming into this bundle. I'm going to try to hook it up to my plot. Look, it works. Okay, so that, and remember, LabVIEW is telling us, um, if this wasn't going to work, when I try to attach it, it would be a broken wire. This little arrow over here would break. So, we got a pretty good indication that this ought to work. Let me go ahead and, oops, let me just run it and see what happens. One thing I'm noticing is that's just crazy fast. I'm not really interested in that. I'm going to go back here and I'm going to clear the chart, start over again. So one thing I forgot to do is I didn't put in a delay time. So I'm here in my functions, timing, and this is all stuff we did in that assignment. I'm going to add I'll just add a constant and put in 500 milliseconds. Now if I run it, so we have three data sets in the same chart at this point, but it's all on the same graph. And so if we didn't have data points that had similar ranges, which we don't actually, you can see our green line, whichever one that is going up very steeply, whereas the other two are not. So let's stop it. And again, I'm going to clear this. So if I go to data operations, clear chart, this is just a simple way of getting back to zero. And now I'm going to stack these plots. So I'm going to select my chart, right click on it, and you see down here it says stack plots. If I select it, I get three charts because that's what's coming in. If I go back to overlay, so this is a toggle switch basically. So I'm going to stack these, spread this out a little bit, and let's just run it and see what happens. So now I can tell that we've got addition. Looks like addition at the top, multiplication the second one, and division in the third. So that's stacking plots. I can come in here, of course, and do all the stuff I've done before. I can adjust um, uh, these displays to do whatever I want them to do by, let me hit stop, coming in here, going to properties, and digging into all these variables here. All right, so that's how you stack plots. Hope it helps. Ask me more questions, and I'll make more videos.